Well, last night, Robinson Cano ended a great road trip in great fashion. 2 home runs, a double, and all he does is keep hitting. A.J. Burnett has had a great start as well, as the Yankees won 4-0 yesterday. Now they're back home, but that doesn't mean that you stop working. At 3 in the afternoon, Robinson Cano out there with hitting coach Kevin Long, trying to keep this hot streak going. As tonight, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the defending world champion New York Yankees against the Chicago White Sox in the first game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball along with Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees had a very long road trip, and with that win last night, they were 5-4 on the road trip. In fact, it seems like they spent a lot of this season on the road. I know you're a big home guy. You love being home, Al. What does it mean for a player to be home?
Well, we just showed, you get an opportunity to have early work at your home park, and certainly the way the Yankees have played, you want to be on your home field. I know as a pitcher, it's always comfortable to be on your home mound and having your home fans, so there's no question it's a good feeling.
All right, speaking about the home mound, why don't we take a look right now at the pitching matchup tonight. Freddie Garcia will go for the White Sox 0-2, 5.82, and Andrew Eugene Pettit for the Yankees 3-0, 1.29. And Al, he's pitching about as well as he's pitched.
He certainly has. And, it's so much fun to watch a guy as he age and certainly pitch as well as Andy's been doing. And I think for Andy Pettit, he has the ability to use both sides of the plate. When he was younger, he was primarily a cutter, inside on the righty, and a little occasional fastball away. But now he's got a backdoor curveball, locking guys up with his fastball away. I think his slider's been as good as any. You wouldn't know that he's 37 years old the way he's pitching.
Look at these numbers. 3-0 for the 4th time in his career. 1.29 ERA. Career low for his first 4 starts. 22 strikeouts, a career high for his first 4 starts. And 29 career Yankee wins in April. That's the most in Yankees history. And by the way, tonight is April, so he's going for an even 30. What are we going to talk about in segment 2? Robbie Cano. Don't you know? I had to steal it, Sterls. I had to. We'll hear what the Yankees think of him as well next on Yes. Another home run for red hot Robinson Cano. Woo. See ya! You can't cool this guy down. Welcome back to segment 2. Everybody, you don't want to cool this guy down. You want him to stay hot. The numbers are amazing. 407, that leads the major leagues. Also a 790 slugging percentage. He has 8 home runs, trailing only the White Sox Paul Konerko with 10. 8-game hitting streak, 17 for 32, 531 during that time. 4 homers, 7 ribbies, 11 multi-hit games in 21 games played. Tied for the major league lead in runs. 21 with Longoria and hits. 33 with Ryan Theriot. Unbelievable numbers. So unbelievable that everybody that wears a Yankee uniform pretty amazed.
It's as good as it gets. Whether it's at the plate defensively, I mean, the play that he made up the middle is remarkable. He's just playing as good as you can play.
He's locked in the plate and in the field right now, so it gives you a lot of confidence to attack hitters when you know you have those kind of players playing behind you.
He's in one of those zones right now. It seems like every player wants to be in it, but they come few and far between. So it seems like everything he's doing right now is perfect. And, you know, he's playing as well as I've ever seen him.
He's been unbelievable. He'll be batting fifth in the Yankee lineup. He's got some fans coming to the ballpark as well. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, next on Yes. Taking his warm-ups, and let's take a look at the White Sox starting lineup that he's facing. It's presented by Lexus. They're looking for a leadoff hitter. They're going to try Alexei Ramirez as shortstop. Gordon Beckham, the second baseman, will bat second. Alex Rios in center field will hit third. Cleaning up and playing first base, he leads the American League with 10 home runs, Paul Konerko. Carlos Quinton, the DH, will bat fifth, batting sixth and playing third, Mark Tien. Jason Nixon, right field, will bat seventh. Donnie Lucy is going to catch and bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing left field. Used to be the leadoff batter is Juan Pierre.
On the mound, Andy Pettitte, 37-year-old, will be making his fifth start of the year. What a year it's been so far for Andy. Let's take a look at the Jeep pitcher scatter report. Found of Youth, as I mentioned, a great start. Best in his 4 career starts to start a season in strikeouts and also ERA. Backdoor curveball slider combination. I think it's been excellent so far for Andy. He'll throw a little backdoor curveball and also bust the right-handers inside. And not just strikes, threw at least 30 called strikes in each of his last 2 starts. It tells me he's right on the corners.
All right, let's make this happen. Andy Pettitte's ready. Alexei Ramirez is ready, and let's do it in the Bronx. The first pitch is a strike, and we are underway. They have really struggled offensively, the White Sox, trying to find something to ignite them, so they try Alexei Ramirez up top. After the final game that the White Sox played against Texas, Ozzie Guillen, their manager, said Juan Pierre was going to be benched today. Well, he's not benched, but he did get dropped from leadoff to 9. So Ozzie Guillen's trying to make something happen, so he tries it with Ramirez.
Only batting 189 in the leadoff spot, and only 8 runs scored on that number 1 hole.
That one is looped into right field and just past the outstretched tribe of Robinson Cano. So a leadoff single for Alexei Ramirez.
Just fighting off this fastball in. Ramirez in 74 plate appearances, only has 1 walk. This is a little fastball up, and it looked just out of the outstretched reach of Robinson Cano. A little blooper jamming him. Not enough hang time for Robin to get to it.
Now, the White Sox lead the American League with 25 stolen bases. They really are a small ball sort of team. Here's Gordon Beckham. And there's a strike from Andy Pettitte. Andy, in his last 21 starts, boy, is he dealing 13-2 with a 2.95. That, of course, dates back to last year. The 0-1. Foul back to the screen, so quickly 0-2.
Well, just watching Andy early this season, and he obviously the career that he's had has been phenomenal, but just looks very comfortable. Certainly he's healthy and really being able to use both sides of the plate. I say that you would think it would be rather normal that a major league pitcher would be able to have that command, but I think Andy's really been very good so far this year with that, both inside and to the right-hander and the left-hander.
Ramirez trying to read Pettit's move, which is one of the best in baseball. A little bit low, 1-0. I was talking with Andy Pettit the other day when the Yankees were at Walter Reed Hospital, and we were walking on the grounds to another building. And I said, isn't it amazing how you pitch now at 87 miles an hour when you used to throw 95? You didn't know then what you know now. He said, it always works like that. He said, it's just about throwing strikes. He said, you have to trust the stuff that you have. And he said, if you know how to pitch when you really had the arm for it, he said, things would have been a lot different.
Exactly, Michael. And I think really what happens out of necessity, when you can throw still in the low to mid 90s, you always trust or believe that that'll get hitters out. Then the reality sets in, and as you say, 87, 88, 89, guys can still get major league hitters out consistently, as Andy has proven that. There's other guys, like Tom Glavine, I think of Jamie Moore, even well below that. You look at what Messina did last year. But you realize that you trust that because that's what's going to survive. And you're really very conscious of hitting corners and keeping the ball down.
1-2. Fouled away. Messina was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yes. What a way to go out. Messina with the 20 wins.
I was joking with Andy Pettit, if you win 21 games this year at 250. And, we talked a little bit off the air. Then, the Hall of Fame becomes a discussion with his postseason prowess and, being up on the top of the Yankee list for all-time wins. 250 is a nice round number. Now, we talk about, Messina with his numbers. Would he get in? And there's a doubt about that. Another loop to right field. And this one also is going to drop. So you cannot hit the ball softer than Ramirez and Beckham have hit it. But the White Sox have a rally. First and second, nobody out.
Well, you mentioned about the White Sox struggling offensively. And the White Sox tried to change their offensive mindset to not being so home run. Look at jam shot. He pulls his backside elbow. And this is just pure luck. Look, he looks straight up. Most hitters would be upset about that, but perfectly placed right there in no man's land. Not for Nick Swish. Swish should be able to get that ball. No rhyme or reason to baseball sometimes. You make a good pitch. And that's the not danger, but for Andy, guys that throw inside a lot, you get a lot of jam shots, and those are the kind of hits that end up being looped in somewhere.
Here's Alex Rios. And there's a strike. This is where the White Sox have run into trouble lately, hitting with runners in scoring position. In their last 13 games, last in the American League at 169. Rios really picked up the scrap heap. The Toronto Blue Jays put him on waivers, and the White Sox put in a claim, and they said, here, you can have him and his big salary. And now it's their job to straighten him out. He has a world of talent, and he just hasn't been able to do it. And there's a guy who's going to try to straighten him out, Greg Walker, longtime hitting coach for Ozzie Gale.
Well, numbers, batting average, sometimes deceiving. Talking to the people covering the White Sox, they said he has been their hottest hitter. Been hot of late, hitting the ball hard, sometimes right at people.
High fly ball, center field. Granderson makes the catch. He's going to throw behind the runner, so tagging and going to third is Ramirez. So Rios with a fly ball for the first out of the inning. All right, so you saw Granderson make the catch. Let's take a look at the Yankees' entire defense, brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, sandwiching Granderson, you've got Gardner in left and Swisher over in right. In the infield, Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. That's third to first. Cervelli's behind the plate as Posada out another day after being hit with a pitch behind the right knee, and Andy Pettit's on the mound. Now with that fly ball by Rios, opponents are now 3 for 21 with runners in scoring position against Andy so far this year. And he said that's something that he's proud of this year as well. He said he's not letting innings get out of hand. So you give up a run or two. He said you don't want to get knocked out of the box. He hasn't done that. Here's Paul Konerko having a renaissance year, especially with power. His 10 home runs leads the major leagues. Inside 1-0.
He has been their best hitter carrying this club offensively. You mentioned the 10 home runs, Michael. This guy's a good pure hitter. He's in his free agent year. Gap to gap. Strong, powerful guy, right center field. As you mentioned, Andy, this is a battle. You can see whether you preserve a run here or not. See how Andy pitches to him. You have Carlos Quentin, who has on deck a little quad injury. This is where I think where Andy is evolved to where you manage the lineup. And even though you don't want to walk the bases loaded, but you want to make sure a guy who's hot, and you see those numbers, very respectable, 364, that this guy doesn't beat you. Carlos Quentin is 200 lifetime against Andy. He's coming right at him.
Konerko in his last 9 games, 12 hits and 30 at-bats. That's a 400 batting average with 6 homers and 10 ribbies, so he is on fire. And the White Sox have been lamenting the last couple of years the downfall of Konerko. He wasn't hitting for power. He was playing under a big contract. There it is, 62 ribbies in 08, but he had 40 home runs in 05, and the power just kind of went away. 1-2. High fly ball, right field, deep, going back Swisher, track, wall, leaps. See ya! A 3-run home run for Paul Konerko, and the White Sox lead 3-0. Konerko is waiting for first base umpire Mark Wegner to make the signal. He finally did. So Konerko with his 11th home run of the year, that leads the majors, and now the White Sox lead the Yankees 3-0.
Boy, he went right after him. He's trying to go on the outside corner. Now this is just good hitting. That's a corner pitch, a backdoor slider. As strong as Konerko is, hits on the very top of the wall. See the guy with the black coat. I think for a minute there, oh, maybe without that coat, the jacket may have deflected off of Nick Swisher. I thought Swisher initially thought he had it tracked. Watch here. Oh, he may have been able to catch that.
Well, the only problem when it comes to interference is that the fan has to lean over the wall. If it's directly above the wall or in the seats, then it's fair game. And you can see Konerko's waiting. Well, what's the deal? What's the deal? And finally, Wegner signals home run. Quentin rips one into left center field. It is a base hit, and it gets past Gardner, and it goes to the wall. So Carlos Quentin is going to have himself a double. So a rocky first inning for Andy Pettitte. Andy knew something was wrong without even looking. And then he's trying to hope it into the glove of Swisher, but not the case.
Well, you know what, Andy, obviously here at Yankee Stadium, it's where you want to go if you're a hitter right field. And he heard the sound. You know as a pitcher, when you throw a ball, especially to a guy like Konerko, now 11 home runs, off the bat, you just hope it, as you say, Michael, you turn around, boy, you hope it doesn't go as far as Konerko wanted it.
So Dave Island with a quick jog out to the mound to talk with Pettitte. And here's Mark Teahan. Breaking ball strike. In 23 starts lifetime against the White Sox, Andy Pettitte 11-9, 4.33. Andy's been tough on lefties this year, 4 hits and 28 at-bats. And righties 17 for 69, so he's been tough on everybody, but lefties particularly.
Throwing a lot of strikes. You know, of course, anywhere, any level, you teach the pitcher to throw strikes. He's been aggressive in the zone, maybe a little, I wouldn't say careless, because I'd still think Konerko's ball was on the corner. But obviously not enough for him to not be able to get the barrel. But let's see if he wastes a pitch here, Michael. 19 pitches, only 4 balls.
Swing and a miss, so he doesn't waste it, and Teahan goes down on strikes for the second out. Take another look from the angle of the side from Swisher, see if he had the chance. That jacket did cause a little bit of a problem, got hooked up in the glove of Swisher, and he thought he had it. He looked into the glove. He felt the jacket go into the glove and thought it was the ball. You know, it's the first inning. The guy's getting to his seat. He's got the jacket in his arm. So that's why that happened. Here's Jason Nix, a late addition to the lineup. The first lineup had Andrew Jones in right field. There's a strike. So that's the 21st pitch for Andy Pettit, and he has been averaging 14.8 pitches per inning this year. Now he's allowed a home run and a double so far in this inning. He allowed 4 extra base hits through his first 4 starts. Nix grounds one foul. So things have been so great for Andy, and not so much here in the first inning.
Well, really, when you say that, I have my pitcher's hat on. It was a good pitch from a hot hitter, and Konerko goes just out of the wall there, right field. 2 bloop singles. The hardest hit ball was Carlos Quinton on left center field. You know, he's throwing strikes, 18 strikes, 4 balls, and 22 pitches. I mean, it's a result of 3 runs. I know that's what matters. Continues to pound the zone, throw strikes. It's part of the game. Bloop singles, broken bat. Make a good pitch.
Oh, 2 on Jason Nix. Just missed outside.
That's the pitch there that Andy's been doing so often in his 23 strikeouts now. Hitters are so conscious in here. When he gets that little backdoor slider, you see Cervelli. Let's see, this will be a great angle. Yeah, that's off the plate 4 or 5 inches.
Dribbled slowly up the third baseline. Stays fair. It's a base hit, but it kicks foul.
You mentioned Jason Nix getting an opportunity to play. Andrew Jones, right after batting practice, reported stiffness in his back. And Ozzie Guillen was talking about how he'd like to have another pitcher. Jason Nix is going to play right field. He's an infielder. He's been an infielder. He's played right field or the outfield a couple times. But with Quinton and the bad hamstring, he's the only choice.
The 1-2. Strike 3. Nix down looking. But the damage has already been done. 4 hits, 3 runs. The big blow on the bat of Paul Konerko. Andy Pettit knew his problems, but a coat gets in the way. What happened? Andy's looking. Konerko's looking. I'll tell you, 3-0 White Sox. By Lexus and put together by Joe Girardi. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, will lead off. Batting second and DHing Nick Johnson. Mark Teixeira at first base will hit third. Alex Rodriguez is 0 for his last 19. The third baseman will clean up. Batting fifth and playing second base, Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher's in right field batting sixth. Number 7 hitter in center field, Curtis Granderson. Francisco Cervelli behind the plate bats 8th and batting 9th. And playing left field, Brett Gardner.
Freddie Garcia, 33-year-old, from Miranda, Venezuela, will be towing the slab for Chicago White Sox. Numbers coming off a very good start against the Seattle Mariners, his old club. That ERA came way down. Look at the 10 walks in the 17 innings. That's not good. The opponent's batting average is good. 217. Let's take a look at the Jeep pitcher scatter report. Get a shot at that. Look for the slider split. He throws splits to left-handers, sliders to right-handers. Extra rest. He's been very good in the 3 C's. Well, the 3 C's he's lived by as a pitcher: confidence, concentration, and control. Here's a guy who was traded for Randy Johnson as a young farmhand from the Astros. Last year in 2001, 18-6.
Count 2-0 to Jeter. Well, the games that Garcia has pitched well, he's had more than normal rest. And Ozzie again, if anything, he's very blunt, said, I can't keep doing that. He's going to have to pitch on normal rest, so he better get used to it. There's a line drive single to left field. Derek Jeter with a leadoff single.
Well, you mentioned that since 2006, Michael, 11-3 with extra days rest and 21 starts. Here's that great swing of Derek Jeter. Ball coming inside, 2-0 fastball, good level line drive approach. And then with normal days rest, Freddie Garcia 9-13 with a 5+ ERA. He's getting 1 extra day on this start here.
So here's Nick Johnson. He was 2 for 18 on the road trip. Now the 20 walks give him a 385 on base percentage, but the 143 average, he's got to pick that up, or the Yankees are going to have to think about moving him out of the number 2 hole. First pitch was a strike. Joe Girardi did it a couple times during the road trip. Had Nick Swisher there, had Curtis Granderson there, but they want Nick Johnson to work out in that spot. They don't particularly need speed in the number 2 hole in this lineup because Joe Girardi said you have Teixeira and Rodriguez hitting behind you. You know what? You don't have to really run around the bases. But the 20 walks for Johnson ties him with Derek Barton and Justin Morneau for the league lead.
Well, I mean, the thing with Nick Johnson, he's a career 273 hitter. So you have to say, look, the guy's, he's not on the latter part age-wise. He's got plenty left in him. So at 143, you know he's going to hit better. Yes, it's a different animal in New York, and I know he started out here as a young player and then moved on to the Expos and later Washington and Florida. The walks, it's nice. You definitely want to, your situation. On base percentage is great at a 1-2 hole hitter, but this is a situational spot where you hit and run, move a runner.
Johnson fouled the bag. Jeter bluffed from first. Johnson has just 3 hits in his last 31 at bats. That's 0.97 over that time, and the on base percentage during that time 349. One-two. Popped up and out of play just over the White Sox dugout.
That's that split. I mentioned the scout report slider split. Ironic, unusual, not ironic. Left-handers this year so far, 152 batting average against. Right-handers, 296. Normally, right-hander, you'd have a tougher batting average because of the breaking ball going away. But that split finger that Freddie Garcia throws is very tough against left-handers. Has been so far.
Hey, that single by Jeter was significant. Gave him 2,776 hits. What's significant about that? He's now the active leader amongst all major leaguers in hits. He just passed Ken Griffey Jr. Swing and a miss, and Nick Johnson continues to struggle.
Wow, that's a Ken Griffey. Well, Jr. was been hurt. I think Jr. came up in what, 88, 89? See that split? Look at the tumble. It almost looks like a slider. Tough to lay off. It's got a break of some downward movement, about a foot or so. It's more of a forkball than a split finger.
Here's Mark Teixeira, 6 for 35 on the road trip. And he's thrilled about tonight because this is the last day in April. And tomorrow he can put that in his rearview mirror, and it's May 1st. missed outside. Now, Garcia had much promise for a long time. You see his numbers through the end of April in his career, and then what he does the rest of the season, power goes up, the average goes up by 60 points. Garcia was always thought of as an ace sort of pitcher, but injuries have slowed him down. In fact, 07, 08, 09, he made a total of 23 starts. And a lot of it's been his shoulder, and that's the one thing that doctors really have not mastered. Count 2-0. Elbows, they have that down. Shoulders, that's a little bit tougher.
Well, the elbow, because they take a ligament, most cases it's a ligament problem. They'll transfer your ligament from another part of your body. Sometimes it's in your leg, and they'll actually replace it with something stronger that was in there originally.
Jeter is doing a lot of bluffing at first base. I don't know if he's not reading Garcia right, but stopping and starting. Count now 3-1.
Well, depending upon whether the pitcher could see that. You see Garcia, the right-hander's taught to come set and then to peek out of your peripheral. And if they see an aggressive move, they may speed up the delivery and then give Teixeira a good pitch to hit.
Well, Teixeira works a walk. Jeter moves to second. Let's take a look at the White Sox defense behind Garcia. That's brought to you by Mercedes. Piero, Rios, and Nix left to right in the outfield. Tien, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko third and first. Lucy behind the plate, and Garcia is on the mound. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Now, Alex really hurt, not physically, but his numbers 0 for his last 19. Count 1-0. On the road trip, 7 for 36.
Well, let's see how this matchup is. Michael, lifetime Rodriguez, 394, 13 for 33, 5 of them home runs. That straight up against Freddie Garcia.
They were teammates with Seattle.
Yeah. Familiar face.
Garcia just not throwing the ball over the plate. Count 2-0. Now, you don't want to mess with Rodriguez because the guy on deck, no one's been able to get him out. That's Robinson Cano. There was such a concern in spring training. Well, is that going to be enough protection for Alex? Well, I don't know if anybody has better protection than Robinson Cano protecting Alex Rodriguez. No one wants to pitch to Cano now. Line drive, left field. Juan Pierre's going to have the plane on a hop. Cuts it off before it gets to the wall. Jeter scores. Teixeira moves to third. Hits an RBI double for A-Rod. Yankees on the board. They trail 3-1. And that double snaps in 0 for 19 for Alex.
Good balance right here. Alex gets a slider, and it was down and away, but aggressive enough. Gets the barrel of the bat on, hooking away from Juan Pierre. Derek Jeter easily scoring there. Stays back, doesn't get a fastball, doesn't try to do a whole lot. A little slider that didn't do a whole lot, spun up there. Good aggressive base running, too, from Mark Teixeira, busting out from first base.
Crowd at the stadium gives Cano a big hand. And why not? 8-game hitting streak. On the road trip, 17 for 34. That's 500. Leads the major leagues with a 407 average. Now, if you're Freddie Garcia and you have Nick Swisher on deck, I know it's early. Do you think about pitching around Cano with first base open?
Yes. Now, his command has been off. Unlike Andy in the first inning, Andy was throwing a lot of strikes. Freddie's been behind every batter. I take that back. Nick Johnson, he went 1-2. So here, 2 breaking balls off speed. First one off the plate. Now that was also a ball. This is you feed off the aggressiveness of a very good hitter in Robinson. He only has 6 walks. For a guy in the top 6 in on-base percentage, that is clearly the lowest. 10 balls, 8 strikes. Not a good ratio.
Count 2-1.
Now, you mentioned about protection for Alex. There you see where he ranks in all his great first, third. But they had to do that, Michael, to test him.
Line drive, base hit to right field. Scoring easily is Teixeira. Alex Rodriguez will hold it third. Hits an RBI single for Cano. It's a 9-game hitting streak. And now it's a 3-2 White Sox lead.
Well, there was a test. He was 300 in runners in scoring position. Now it's 333. 7 for 21. Gets a fastball. Boy, there's not a player in the major leagues hotter than Robinson Cano right now. You talk about locked in and balanced, beautiful swing. Robinson Cano.
I might have said 8-game hitting streak. It's a 9-game hitting streak with that single. And here's Nick Swisher, who is 0 for 6 lifetime against Freddie Garcia. So they decide to pitch to Cano, and they get burned. First and third, still 1 out. White Sox lead 3-2. Count 1-0.
You know, and you say, well, boy, you really want to take the aggressiveness out of a pitcher and start pitching around a guy in the first inning. No, but you also want to be cognizant of who are the guys that are really hot, Robinson Cano, or in the case of Konerko, as a guy who's been carrying that offense. They got the worst offense in the American League. And it doesn't mean to be fine and cute where you're just trying to miss the bat. It's just making quality pitches. Quality pitches for major leaguers on the corner, black off the plate. And these guys, night in, night out, are pretty good at doing that. You talk about, Michael, the big winners, the guys that really are able to, stay away from 500 and, get above that. That's the difference. Every pitcher, even in a well-pitched ball game, you have 2 moments in every game where you have to make that big pitch. Or maintain the right mindset. As, you give up, Andy Pettitte gives up 3 in the first. How you can just turn the page and forget about that and just move on. What's your job? Continue to make pitches.
Swisher 11 for 32 on the road trip. That's 344 at 7 ribbies. Grounds that one to first. Konerko steps on the back, fires to second. Double play. Nice throw by Konerko and a good tag by Ramirez as Nick Swisher banks into the 3-6 double play. Slick fielding first baseman gets it done with a perfect throw just under the left arm of Cano. But the Yankees get 2 runs back after 1, 3-2 Chicago.
Michael, I remember a couple weeks ago I said to Robbie, you must be happy with your start. He looked at me and said, happy? and relieved. Now imagine how he feels, and his teammates simply marvel, not only at his talent, but at his strength. We saw that certainly last night with that defensive gem in Baltimore. You know how superstitious Derek Jeter is? He says you don't even want to talk to him right now. He's playing as well as I've ever seen. And I happened to catch Cece as he left the clubhouse last night, and I just casually mentioned Cano's defensive play. He said, anyone else, I'd be amazed. With him, I expect it. He has set a very high bar for himself in that clubhouse. It's almost like we're now learning what a very, very special player this might be.
And you know what's weird too, Kim? It's not as if this guy hasn't done it before. He's had several good years in his career, but people think that this could be the otherworldly year that everybody's been waiting for just because of his talent.
Yeah, I think you're right, Michael.
Danny Lucy will pick up a double. He takes it into right center field.
Michael, and I think that's because of the responsibility that comes with batting fifth, the questions in the spring that you just mentioned that came with that responsibility for Robinson Cano, and also for those awful runners in scoring position numbers he had last year. He never shied away from talking about them. He said simply, I have to get better, and I will. He's a lot better now.
Now, the guy who's up at the plate right now is Juan Pierre, and he's been leading off for the White Sox. And the White Sox offense has really been stagnant, Kim, and they're searching for a leadoff batter. So Pierre was dropped to ninth today.
He was, but Ozzie Guillen said before the game, if we're going to be the best team we can be, Juan Pierre has to be our leadoff hitter. So why is he batting ninth? Because he's hitting 200 this season and still looking for his first extra base hit. Ozzie is really hoping he gets on track tonight. He has decent career numbers against Andy Pettitte, and then he can be back in the leadoff spot as soon as tomorrow. Ozzie says simply, we don't have another leadoff hitter. Alexi Ramirez isn't it, even though he's leading off tonight.
Well, Pierre keeps showing bunt and the count 2-0. Kim, we'll talk to you a little bit later on and definitely on the postgame.
Sounds good, Michael. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. So a double for Lucy as A.J. Przinsky gets the night off at catcher. Lucy with the start picks up a double. And Pierre, one hit in his last 13 at-bats. And again shows bunt. And the count 3-0. Are you of the school of pitching, Al, that if somebody's going to bunt, just let him bunt and take the out?
Yeah, I think right there he's just trying to bait Alex to come in. He'll bunt, but look, he's batting 111 this year against left-handers, 467 against Andy. I think he's just looking for a strike and also an opportunity to move Lucy to third. I think it's more about him tracking. When a guy's struggling as much as Juan Pierre, and he had a heck of a year for the Dodgers, he wants to see pitches. And it's in his mind, and there's no doubt about it, as Kim says, that the White Sox, they transformed their offense so that they weren't station to station, weren't three-run homer team. And this guy's a big integral part of this change this year in 2010. They need him.
And he works a walk. So you just walk the guy who has not hit this year, who was dropped to number 9 in the order, and Andy is definitely laboring early in this game. Now, he's done this before, and he's battled through, and then he finds it. Will he find it before there are too many runs on the board? That's the question.
Well, right now, Michael, just watching the approach, certainly watching Donnie Lucy's up because of Ramon Castro, their backup catcher, has been hurt. Second-round pick. Lucy was in 2004. Their approach seems to be early on against Andy's this right center field approach. Fighting that ball off inside, looking to go to right center field.
Ramirez wants to bunt and takes a strike.
Well, when you're last in offense in just about every category, you're going to try to push another early run. And look, Ozzie Guillen respects certainly what Andy Pettitte has done. If they can push a run here by getting the runners in second and third and get a sacrifice fly situation, they'll certainly do it. And that's what Ozzie's all about. The dichotomy of his mindset of Ozzie baseball.
Grounded to third. They do not get the out there. Alex Rodriguez is pointing at him. Let's see if they got the out. He's saying that he went out of the baseline, but he did get the out at second. So Alex tried to make the sweep tag on Lucy, and Lucy evaded him. I'll tell you what, that's a legitimate beef right there. He's way out of the baseline.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how far they can avert the tag of trying to elude the tag. I don't know if they can go out all the way to shortstop. And here's the line to the baseline. That looks a good 10 feet or so.
So now first and third with one out for Gordon Beckham. High fly ball, right field. Nick Swisher will make the catch. Tagging is Lucy. Lucy will score, and it's 4-2 White Sox on the sac fly by Beckham. Let's take one more look at Lucy evading the tag by Alex Rodriguez. See the ump at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I don't know whether his angle, Michael, maybe his angle is just seeing it differently. But from the baseline, you can't run out the left field to elude a tag.
Now the easy one is when you're running inside, because you can't go on the grass. That's considered out of the baseline. But I don't think that you could run all the way to the edge of the dirt. He was definitely out of the baseline there. But Joe Girardi did not come out and argue. And there's a strike to Alex Rios. Here's how it looked from above the stadium.
Well, just what you said, if he were to go in the grass, the distance between the baseline and the grass, that was further going toward shortstop there.
Count 1-1. Now the rule is that you cannot run more than 3 feet out of the baseline to avoid being tagged. Now you tell me how that wasn't 3 feet. That was more than a body length. And Lucy's 6 feet. Ground ball up the middle and a base hit for Alex Rios, as Ramirez will stop at second. And now Dave Island will come out and talk. Now there are two things that I wonder. If the rule is 3 feet and that is the rule, why didn't the Yankees argue more? Why didn't Girardi come out and argue the call? Because that was clearly more than 3 feet out of the baseline.
Well, for one, I think Girardi has to base it on Alex's beef from the Yankee dugout. He knows he's eluding the tag, but how far, it's hard to tell from the first base dugout. Now, Alex has given enough contention, but I would imagine if he was a little more stronger, maybe Joe would have come out.
Well, that inning certainly plays out a lot differently if, in fact, he's called out. Those are 2 outs right there. And then the Beckham fly ball, if you believe in the fallacy of the predetermined outcome, that's the 3rd out of the inning. Well, now he has to get Paul Konerko. This becomes a big batter. Konerko with a 3-run home run in the first inning. Now the White Sox lead 4-2 with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Konerko's 11th home run in the first inning. Looped into right field. Right there is Swisher, and he makes the play. Well, the White Sox score 1. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the second. 4-2 Sox. And endless ideas for your next Massachusetts getaway. Visit massvacation.com. Buy NYSERDA. Go to shiningexampleny.com to find out how you can be in one of our next TV commercials. And by Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. 0-1 count on Granderson, and the pitch low, 1-1. So a lot of stuff has happened in this first inning and a half. 6 runs on the board, 4 of them against Andy Pettitte, who came into the game with a minuscule ERA. The 2-1. Line drive caught by Konerko. So Granderson, who was 3 for 29 on the road trip, gets robbed of an extra base hit.
You know, and it goes, doesn't it seem that way? 3 for 29, smokes this ball. Konerko, who already made a very nice play in the previous inning, stabs that baseball. You mentioned in last inning, Michael, with Alex Rodriguez, the what if, had Dale Scott called him out, then you got the fly ball to right. Does Andy Pettitte pitch him the same way or not? Swinging bunts, the first inning for Andy, a couple bloop singles is part of the game. Now here Granderson is struggling on the road trip. Hits the ball right on the nail, right on the screws there. I think that's the hardest part of playing this game at this level, is to realize that it is a game of failure. You talk about it. Alex Rios has been quoted by saying, you know, just finally realizing as a player, even at the major league level, this is the pinnacle of this industry, to be able to know that it's mental. You're going to fail. You got to keep plugging away. And those are your great players. That's, to me, the difference between the good player and the great player.
Soft ground ball towards short. Ramirez, 2 outs. Well, let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 70 degrees. It's great. Humidity 42%. Not much wind. Clear skies overhead.
Could it have been any nicer today?
I don't think so.
Really? Sunshine, no clouds, slight breeze.
I saw you earlier. You had a little skip in your step.
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
After all the gray, cold.
Here's Gardner. And there's a strike. It was actually nice weather in Baltimore. It wasn't humid and sticky like it normally is. Actually, it was chilly for 2 nights. Yesterday was great. Breaking ball strike, 0-2. Big crowd here at the stadium. Beginning of a weekend series with the White Sox. And then the Orioles come to town for 3, and then the Yankees hit the road again. They're living Willie Nelson's song. Next Friday, start a 3-game set with the Red Sox.
And that would be on the road again?
Yeah, I can't wait to get on the road again. Popped up. Beckham called off there by Nix, and that'll do it. So 1-2-3 inning for Freddie Garcia. Yankees go down in order, and we go to the 3rd. time for the Toyota text poll. Tonight's question is, which of Robinson Cano's offensive stats has impressed you the most? You can text your vote to 58772. We'll get you the things you can vote on in just a moment. And the pitch to Quinton is a strike. His batting average, has that impressed you? His home runs, on base percentage, slugging. Again, text us at 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply, and we will update you a little bit later on. Foul back. First time up in the first inning, Quinton ripped a double to left center.
Look at those numbers. A couple years ago, he broke his hand. He was on pace for MVP type year in 2008. Just hasn't been the same.
High fly ball, right field. One away. You know, they've been struggling so much offensively, the White Sox, that there's talk in Chicago over the last couple of days that they should pick up the phone and call up Jermaine Dye, who was a longtime player for them, hit the free agent market. No bidding at all, a little bit, but lower than what he was expecting. Turned it down. He's home now in Arizona, and he was called and asked how long would it take. He said 2 weeks, I'll be ready to roll. But Ozzie Guillen said if we bring back JD, which is what he called him, he said he'd have to play the outfield. He said he just can't be a DH. You can't clog up the DH spot like that.
Well, especially now with Quinton and the hamstring issue, you have Jason Nix, who's an infielder, who's playing right field tonight with Andrew Jones back. They have to do something, right? Many people pick this team to be right up there with the Twins to win that Central.
That's got to be a concern for them as well, because the Twins and the Tigers are kind of putting distance between themselves and the rest of the Central. You don't want to fall that far behind, because I don't think either of those two teams are going to really start losing a lot. Those are two very good teams. Count 1 and 2 on Mark Teahan. Last year, Jermaine Dye, 27 home runs, 81 runs batted in, has not been able to find a job. 1-2. Fouled away.
I think without a question, Michael, the biggest disappointment so far has been their starting rotation. I thought they had the deepest starting rotation in the Central. Peavy has not found his stride. Tomorrow is going to be their best pitcher to date in Danks. You got Burley on Sunday.
Breaking ball, strike 3. Teahan down looking.
That is a locked up curveball. Watch Teahan just can't pull the trigger. Stay there. Beautiful pitch. Fastball, slider. Look at the curveball grip. He has his thumb underneath. And as lefty on lefty, just can't pull the trigger. Yeah, and the speed variation of throwing the fastball in and that hard cut slider. Beautiful pitch. 74 miles an hour.
Jason Nix, ground ball up the middle. Cano's right there. And Andy Pettitte with his first 1-2-3 innings. So the White Sox go down in order. We go to the bottom of the third. upcoming schedule. 2 more games against the White Sox, Saturday and Sunday afternoon here at the stadium. Then the Orioles coming to town Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. Thursday's an off day, and then back on the road. 3 against the Boston Red Sox, and then 4 against the Detroit Tigers in Comerica, as the Yankees will get their first step in the regular season at former Yankee Johnny Damon in a Tiger uniform. Here's Derek Jeter, and there's a strike. 4-6-0 for Chicago, 2-3-0 for New York. Tried to pull an outside pitch and a ground ball to Ramirez. There's one away. Along with Al Leiter and Kimberly Jones, I'm Michael Kay, and you are watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. Bottom of the 3rd inning. It's the Yankees trailing the White Sox 4-2. That's a nice picture of you, Al. Take a look at that. Your head looks very small, though.
Oh, you got a lot of nerve. What is that, a 5-head?
Here's Nick Johnson. 1-0.
You're 7 3/4, right? On those new era hats?
7 5/8. What exactly is your point? I mean, you look like Beetlejuice, and I look like Kevin Mench. What do you want me to do? Nick Johnson pops it up. Boy, is Nick struggling. As Beckham puts it away. Nick 2 for his last 20. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes.
Boy, and a 1-1 pitch right down the middle. Little 88-mile-an-hour fastball. 3 for his last 33.
Here's Mark Teixeira. You know what's great about working with you, Al? When you stand up that way, it looks like you're taking my wine order. Look at you. I'll have the Bordeaux.
I'm charged, man.
Count 1-1.
I thought you were Merlot.
Bordeaux was funny. Merlot's not funny. Grounded foul on the count. 1-2. Teixeira walked and scored in the first inning. Yankees 14-7. And that one's in the dirt, 2-2. And if you consider, you look at what's happening in this lineup. Coming into today, the number 2 hitter in the lineup is hitting 143. The number 3 hitter is 139. The number 4 hitter was 250. Now, yeah, Cano's having an incredible start, but your 2, 3, and 4 hitters are not performing, and you're still 14-7. That bodes very well, because you know Teixeira and A-Rod will hit. There's a ground ball first. Konerko is there. And 7 in a row, or 8 in a row, for Freddie Garcia. The 3rd inning, a 10-pitch inning for him. Let's take this baby to the 4th. Smoker's Quitline quiz, Robinson Cano leads the major leagues with a .415 batting average. Who was the last Yankee to lead the American League in batting average for the month of April? We'll find that out in the bottom of the inning. Lucy will lead off. And Pettit deals upstairs 1-0. There's a strike. 4-2 White Sox lead.
Talk about being given an opportunity. Donnie Lucian and Ozzie Guillen really likes what he's seen so far. Being a catcher, last year 216 in AAA, 217 in AA as a hitter. But the importance of someone who can handle a pitching staff, be good behind the plate, there's such a value for backup catchers. AJ Pierzynski has not been much of a hitter so far this year after batting 300 last year. And it goes a long way. You see Francisco Cervelli, who really has done a nice job with the stick. But if you've got a guy who can handle his staff, the pitchers like pitching to him, know the hitters, know scout reports, there's a place in the big leagues.
A lot of people thought that Cervelli would be that sort of catcher, Al, because he didn't hit in AA last year. And they expected when they called him up and they had all those injuries that, let's get good defense out of him. But he's been a 300 hitter in the big leagues, and he's gotten some big hits for them. So he's one of those few players that actually hits better in the majors than he did at the AA level. He never played at AAA. Tapped out, right side, and Lucy is out on the 4-3.
But 190, to your point, Cervelli and Trenton last year. 275 at Scranton. I know a lot of backup catchers Randy Nora had. Remember, I loved having him behind the plate. He was an excellent backup to Pat Borders. I thought Greg Zahn, when he was down with the Marlins and backing up Charlie Johnson.
Charles Johnson was a great catcher, too.
He was good.
Now, who was the backup for Piazza when he was with the Mets? Was it different?
It was Todd Pratt.
But there's no way that you want a Todd Pratt. You'd rather have.
Well, I never got it.
Piazza in his 3 home runs a game.
When going down to Atlanta facing Maddox, you knew you were going to get the backup catcher. Right. And Javi Lopez wore me out. And when it was either Smoltz or Glavine, they wanted the offense, so they had Javi Lopez. So I liked facing Mad Dog because you took away a 4-hole hitter, 4 or 5-hole hitter. Vance Wilson was another
Perez,
guy.
Right?
I can't believe I was blanking. Love Vance Wilson back up to Piazza. They get it. They know that the importance of being here is really calling a good game and being a great receiver, neutralize the running game. Great ball strike ratio. He's been throwing strikes. Settle in here. I know he's down by 4-2 here. Just that laser focus and vision. Keep the pitch count down.
Punched out towards shortstop, and Derek Jeter puts it away. I always thought, Al, that Greg Maddox's insistence on having Eddie Perez catch actually hurt the Braves in some big games, too. They always seem to lose in the postseason because they would sacrifice a lot of offense because they would pull out.
Yeah, it wasn't like a 6-hole hitter. I mean, Javi Lopez, for a few years, he was a tough out.
Yep. Popped up. Cano puts it away, and a 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettit. He's retired 7 in a row. He's settled down. Quick line quiz. Robinson Cano leads Major League Baseball with a .415 average. Who was the last Yankee to lead the American League in batting average for the month of April? We'll find out after the pitch to Alex Rodriguez. Starts him off with a breaking ball strike. The answer is Paul O'Neill. Won the batting title that year. A strike shortened season. .448 in April. Wonder if he smiled at all.
I was going to say, I wonder if he was happy after that month.
Kim Jones was telling me that Joe Girardi said he was given that stat. He said, well, the only thing they have in common is they wanted to be great, but
and both left-handed.
Right. He said Robinson does smile.
Paulie had fun, did he?
I don't know if he had fun. I think if you'd ask him now, he didn't have as much fun as he should have. Everything was life and death. Grounded to short, Ramirez. One away. Montpierre made the final out.
What? You know what I'm watching here, Michael? Watch Cervelli. This is a breaking ball. Now, granted, 1-2 count, and he's trying to protect. But look at Cervelli going down on all fours. He's scooping the ball like it's going to be in the dirt. He actually thought he was going to get it. That was a little cricket play right there, a little blooper to Jeter.
That was the second out of the inning. Look how far down he goes to get this.
I mean, that ball is about 3-4 inches off the ground. That's a guy struggling.
Here's Robinson Cano, RBI single in the first inning. Grounded foul. Now, I talked to C.C. Sabathia today. I said, how would you get out Robinson Cano now? He said, well, first of all kidding aside, I wouldn't pitch to him. He said, somebody's that hot, you shouldn't pitch to him.
Yep.
He said, but if you had to pitch to him, he said, make him move his feet. He said, go inside, outside, don't have a pattern. He said, but I would definitely make him move his feet.
Sounds familiar.
Which pretty much is pitching parlance for him. You throw at him, not in his head.
No.
You just move him back off the plate. Yeah.
Well, look, the proverbial would be this: up and in hard, get him thinking here, and then you do the little soft stuff over here, and let him swing at your pitch. If he doesn't, put him at first. See now here, so he's in a situation. He only has 6 walks. See, how badly do you want to hit this? If I'm Freddie Garcia, I'm going to throw that little split somewhere down off the plate. And this is the whole patience thing with Robinson Cano and the plan and him really evolving as a mature middle of the lineup hitter. Now that's a mistake. For me, 2-1, even though it's an off-speed pitch, a little backdoor slider, middle of the plate to a guy who's as hot as anybody in baseball. He wants the ball on the corner. That ball ends up being middle. Robbie trying to go downtown right there. Just so comfortable, Cano.
And he's worked the count full, 3-2. And Nick Swisher's on deck.
You know, a lot of times, Michael, it's hard to concede that you can't get a hitter out. I know, anytime it was a great hitter, an MVP caliber guy, I was stubborn in the sense I can get this guy. I mean, it still means that you have to maintain that concentration of knowing what's a quality pitch here. Quality pitch would be somewhere in this little down and away corner.
Nub, third base side. If that's a fair ball, that's a hit. And it rolled foul at the last moment. Hey, you were like that with Bonds, right? When Bonds was in his heyday, you would go after him.
Yeah, matter of fact, that when he was in that year of 70-plus home runs. Now, Yankee Stadium, the grass is so close to the foul line once it hits off the grass. So this would be an infield. Now, if you had guys that bunted a lot and you really were about speed, you would pull that grass in so that this grass would give a much greater dirt area so the ball would hold in fair territory. Groundskeepers are known to really be favorable to the home team, whether you're pitching strength, a ground ball, or if you're a speed team.
Grounded to second, so he goes after Cano and gets him for the second out. 10 in a row for Freddie Garcia since Cano's RBI single in the first inning, so he has settled down.
And it's been all just assortment of a lot of off-speed pitches. Now, he's got a very low pitch count, 57. see how, if he's going to change the pattern a little bit. When you're throwing 87, 88 miles an hour, you have to be very careful as a pitcher to miss with your fastball. He's been throwing a lot of splits and sliders. Big curveball there. See, Swisher says, stay back, stay back. Know that the fastball can't get by you. If you look off speed, I would imagine these Yankee hitters this second, third time around be looking off speed. Now there, 87. Looks juicy, up, out over the plate, just late because they're sitting off speed. The percentage of off-speed pitches, just from a quick look, I bet it's 75%. Curveball, slider, split to his fastball.
Getting people out, swinging and missing on 71 miles per hour pitches. Now 1 and 2.
Now, Mike, after that 87, we're talking about different pitchers with, Andy Pettit and, different guys get into that hitting speed. You look at 87, it looks much quicker than when you're throwing at 71, 68, 74 mile an hour pitches.
Swing and a miss on the splitter, and tagged out by Lucy is Swisher. 3 straight 1, 2, 3 innings, and then the double play in the first. So you do the math, that's 11 outs in a row for Freddie Garcia. Let's go to the 5th. Looking for the 15th win of the month as Andy Pettit starts off Gordon Beckham with a strike. The Acela scoreboard 4-2 White Sox lead. Count 1-1. Andy's got his pitch count under control. 64 pitches here in the 5th. Hot shot up the middle and into center field for a base hit. This Sunday, don't miss the season premiere of Yankees on Deck, presented by Tops Attacks. This season, there's more off-the-field fun and games, baseball training tips, plus some surprises from your favorite Yankees. The Emmy-winning Yankees on Deck premieres Sunday at noon, only on Yes. Are you still
Yes.
Professor
No,
White?
no. Mr. Flaherty is the professor.
Really?
I am now the, what would that be, host? Just going in and out of the commercials?
I guess that would be host, yes.
Or the segments.
I think you won an Emmy for that last year.
No, the show would
You were on the show.
Really?
That's how it works.
Cool.
Another trophy for you. Count 1-1. Andy threw 42 pitches in the first 2 innings, but he needed just 21 in the last 2 innings to get 6 outs. 1-1. 2-1.
Watching the approach of these White Sox hitter, and you know, when a team is struggling or a hitter's struggling, you talk to stay on the baseball, track it longer, and go the other way. And a few of these White Sox hitters, that's been their approach. Beckham, I thought, hit a good pitch up the middle. Right center swing.
Cervelli tried to block it, but it trickles away from him, and that allows Beckham to move to second on the wild pitch.
Tough slider here. You see where Cervelli was setting up, trying to keep it in front of him. Beckham having a good read here. Cut over, getting his body in front, just kicks away to his right. Just a little short hop.
Hot shot, backhanded by Jeter. He's got the runner hung up. Now Alex Rodriguez wants to run him back to second. They shouldn't have made that throw. And now the out will be made, but that allowed Rios to move to second. If Alex had just kept running towards second, then Rios would have had to stay at first.
Well, either way, somebody was going to be at second. It would have been who was occupying it before had they both been standing there.
Now, if you watch this, Al, if Alex goes all the way to second, Rios is not there. Nice play by Jeter.
Is under control, calm, realizing he's right dead in the middle. Bad throw there from Alex. See Beckham looking back, seeing that Rios was able to get to second base.
6-5-4-6 if you keep it scored. Pitch to Konerko's inside. And Rios reaches on the fielder's choice. Andy Pettitte was directing the rundown, and he wasn't happy the way it played out.
Let's take a look at the Home Depot scouting report. One-man record crew. Well, we saw the home run early on. He's leading in every category. First in the American League in home runs, third in slugging, third in RBIs. Bell tie fastball. This was an outside cutter that he hit here, but of his 11 home runs now, 10 of them were bell tie or out over, 6 of them on fastballs. And mirror on the wall, when he was a kid growing up in Arizona, he used to watch through a mirror his idol, Will Clark, who was a left-handed hitter. And through looking at the image through the mirror, Will Clark became a right-handed hitter, and he would emulate that swing in his living room growing up in Arizona. And that was what he saw as a pure swing, and he said, if I have the opportunity to see Will Clark is right-handed, maybe I could swing like Will Clark. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Michael.
3-1. And although he wouldn't say it, I think that Pettitte just pitched around Konerko.
Well, you know what? That's smart. It's little course management.
Who's the most pure hitter you ever faced?
Tony Gwynn. You know, lefties used to give me a fit. Rafael Palmeiro was tough for me because I threw a lot of cutters and good left-handers like a Mark Grace that just stay on that ball and go to left center. But I thought Tony Gwynn, I mean, he hit the ball hard everywhere, similar to like a Wade Boggs.
See Dave Island getting on the phone to the bullpen. Hey, remember everybody, stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Quinton fouls it away. Former Yankee manager Buck Showalter used to tell me that he felt, and you see Alfredo Ceballos begin to throw, that the most technically perfect hitter that if he was teaching his son to hit, he would have his son watch Paul Molly.
Really?
He said it was just perfect. He said there was no extraneous movement, perfect swing, no stride.
Just picked it up, put it down, that front foot.
The 0-1. By the way, your numbers against Tony Gwynn. Tony was 10 for 22 against him, 455 with a home run.
I remember that home run. It was over at Jack Murphy Stadium. I felt like there were certain hitters where you knew they were going to hit it hard. You just hope you hit it at somebody. And I remember that home run. It was a low pitch, down and in somewhere, just a line drive rocket.
Off-speed pitch, swung and a miss.
You talk about giving in. I remember a game here when I first came up. George Brett was announced, and I thought it was the coolest thing. You know, it was the latter part of his career, and certain marquee future Hall of Fame names, and I remember standing on the mound here at the old stadium and saying, wow, facing George Brett. There's certain guys that you relished, certainly as a young player.
That's how I feel working with you.
Yeah, right.
That same feeling. Look over and go, wow, Al Leiter.
That's funny, man.
The 1-2. Served into right field. Backing up is Swisher. Boy, the ball's really traveling out there tonight. Second out. Tagging is Rios. He goes to third. That just seemed as if Quentin almost served it out there very easily, and it went right to the warning track.
Well, he does have that kind of strength, but let's take a look. Where on the bat did it? No, it was on the end of the bat. You're right, Michael. I think there's hardly any wind here. It's a good angle right here. Just stayed with it, poked it. All just went 375 feet. 360.
So 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Mark Teahan. Yankees are trailing 4-2. All the scoring in the first 2 innings, most of it in the first. Inside. White Sox scored 3 in the first and 1 in the second. The Yankees 2 in the first, and that's the scoring. The big blow for the White Sox, the 3-run home run by Paul Konerko in the first inning, and Freddie Garcia's made it hold up. Now Rios is at third and Konerko at first. Served out down the left field line. Gardner leaps into the stands, can't make the play.
Teahan just flailing at that little slider away. Let's see how he has him set up here. Fastball in, slider away. She ended up striking him out on a curveball looking last at bat. Yeah, see a little Cervelli head nod. Pettit to do that often. If the hitter's not looking, instead of giving a sign, he gave the head nod like you want to go fastball in here.
Broken back, ground ball to second. So Pettit does not allow a run. No runs a hit, and 2 men left. We're halfway through. White Sox 4, Yankees 2. Brought to you by Johnny Walker. Foul bat. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. Back on this date, in 1939, Lou Gehrig played in the final game of his streak of 2,130 consecutive games. And that record held until Cal Ripken Jr. broke it. The Acela scoreboard 4-2. Sox lead. That one is driven to right field. Going back is Nix, and he's going to make the play right in front of the wall. So Granderson has hit the ball hard twice, nothing to show for it. One line drive to Konerko, and that one Nix runs down.
Well, 3 for 33 now. And you're right, Michael. Well, as a hitter or even a pitcher, you do your job and you try to hit the ball hard as a hitter, as Granderson, as you say, he did twice. Nix tracking it down there for a middle infielder. And you just keep going with it. For as frustrating as a slump could be, it's part of the game, and you try to stay away from it.
Here's Cervelli as Posada out another game after being hit behind the right knee by Jeremy Guthrie. There was a lot of talk about that in Baltimore, Al, that Guthrie just is not able to command his pitches and didn't hit Posada on purpose. And none of the Yankees felt that he did. But Joe Girardi said, you know what, I lose my catcher for a couple of days. He said, in spring training, I lose my first baseman when Guthrie hits Teixeira on the elbow, and there's Posada out in the bullpen. If a guy's not doing it on purpose, does it ever call for?
I don't think so. I think you know, there's a situation where it's pretty obvious with pitchers and certain guys that are known headhunters or like to hit guys. But in the case of, I was talking to a couple of the guys around the cage and just said, look, he had a different release point, Guthrie, almost every pitch. And command then becomes an issue. And if you have a guy that's off as much as he was.
Slow roll to the third, going to be a tough play. And Tien guns down Cervelli.
Very nice play from Mark Tien. Coming in strong there. Cervelli trying to sniff a hit there. Coming in, realizing he's got to be quick. Cervelli not the fastest guy, but nice strong throw. Just gets him by step. Good play. I think really, Michael, it's really about the frustration, as you say. Now the Yankees are without their catcher, and they got to deal with that, and he's treatment and all that. But unless you know or you have the inclination that you think it was on purpose, then I would say yes, you have to retaliate. But just to do as Tony La Russa has been known, you know, if you hit our guy, we hit your guy. I don't agree with that. Because I don't think it'll stop it. If you got a guy who's clueless and doesn't really know where he's throwing it, I mean, it's not going to stop him from being clueless.
But you know, you brought up Tony La Russa, and here's the hit by pitch. And La Russa is of the opinion, hey, you've got to command yourself better, and you don't try to come inside it.
So you're going to get rid of all the guys that hit people?
Well, maybe it changes the way they pitch then, Al.
I don't know.
Because La Russa does say, you hit one, I'm hitting two.
And you'll hit, if you hit our three, we hit your three. You know, that kind of thing.
But I think no one is as dead set on it as La Russa is. There's a strike.
I know the hitters like it. They know, you know, they want their pitchers to protect them.
Ground ball and through for a base hit. So Brett Gardner with a 2-out single. And that breaks a string of 13 in a row retired by Freddie Garcia. Now, Gardner obviously a threat to steal.
Out in front, just lays on a little split that's running down the way. Perfect C&I between the 3-4 hole. You see, watches. He's out in front, but the bat lag is giving him the opportunity to get the barrel of the bat on the ball. And as you say, Michael, it's just a matter of a couple pitches here for Brett to be taken off. He's got that kind of speed.
Garcia's a big man, has a big leg kick. Let's see if Gardner goes. Trying to keep him close.
So far, it's only 4 for 6, but Lucy 4 stolen bases in 6 attempts.
Those are the American League leaders in stolen bases. Gardner tied for the lead with 9. And Gardner's only been caught once. In fact, in his career, 48 for 55 in stolen base attempts.
Jeter's going to give him every opportunity to get a good lead here and take off. See if Freddie Garcia, not a great move, but in order to negate a guy who can run as well as Gardner, is just hold the ball, different leg kicks.
That time he had really expanded the lead, and he had a hustle to get back.
Watch the expanded lead. He's looking a little frisky to want to run. Easily in. And also, too, this right here is it just tires him out. If you keep throwing over and he's got to dive back and it's close enough, it gets tired.
That's why Ricky Henderson was so amazing to steal all those bases and never really tire. There goes Gardner. Great jump. Not even close. Wow. He really read Garcia's move, and he took off for his 10th stolen base.
You know what, Michael? He's that fast. There's a few guys in baseball, Carl Crawford, Ellsbury, that really, Michael Bourne, Houston, that could just outrun baseballs. And unless you got a rocket arm behind home plate, a guy throwing out, maybe when Pudge Rodriguez was in his heyday, he just outruns the baseball. It's a simple time. And no matter how quick the pitcher, it'll get frustrating. After a while, when you get a guy like Brett Gardner, and I think, if you can run, it'll keep you out of slumps. But it's so frustrating for a pitcher to realize, okay, you want to keep him close. You know he's going to go. And in many instances, just because of that, you see some pitches up and they give the batter in the batter's box an opportunity to get a good pitch to drive.
1-1. Driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. Tie game. 2-run home run for Jeter.
Well, Jeter finally caught up to one of these off-speed pitches. Big curveball inside part of the plate. Derek putting a nice short stroke on this. Clears his hips. Not the usual Derek Jeter swing, but he'll go to left field if he knows that ball is hanging up inside enough and slow enough in velocity.
Nick Johnson lines one foul. For Derek, his 4th home run of the year. And now he has 16 runs batted in. Take a look at the Coors Light cold, hard blast on a hot Friday night. How about this number? Jeter is now 7 for 14 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this season.
I think a hit like that, you watch enough Yankee games, his patented swing is that inside out, right center approach, but he's got the ability to do what we just saw there, pull a breaking ball that was just hanging on the inside part of the plate. Special hitter. Normally we got a guy, we say, okay, in this given area, it's the pitchers. If a pitcher makes a mistake, you have that spot. You cover both sides, and I said that Freddie Garcia's majority of his pitches now, 78 pitches, have been off speed. Watch the curveball. He's setting up kind of middle and ends up being inside part of the plate. He's that good to pull the trigger instead of thinking right center, boom, left center. Left center, left field.
Garcia said, no, that's not good.
And I don't know how much really go to credit with a guy like Brett Gardner, but there's no doubt about it. When you're out there and you're trying to make pitches and you're throwing over, and then the guy steals easily, you just lapse. Make a mistake, middle of the plate, boom. Tie ball game.
So Gardner picks up his 10th stolen base. Jeter picks up his 4th home run. Has 16 ribbies, and the Yankees have a new ball game at 4-4. 3-2. Johnson fouling off a lot of pitches.
Well, see here, with the 20 walks, that's an off-speed pitch down in the zone, and knowing that Nick's not feeling right, and obviously with his batting average where it is, it's not where he'll end up at the 138. But he's got such a great eye. That little split would have been a ball. Take a walk. You know where he's off balance-wise in his swing and his approach.
Cervelli talking things through with Pettit, who has a new life now. Come out for the 6th inning. 4-4 at least, the 3-2. And Nick Johnson works his 21st walk of the season.
Well, that was a good at bat. He went after a handful of pitches, drove some balls, and granted they're foul, but had a good approach. Other than just not being aggressive and taking the walk, I thought he had some good swings.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Count 1-0. Boy, this is definitely a different Freddie Garcia than the one we saw in Seattle all those years ago. This, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, doesn't really challenge. He used to come after you with a power sinker right over the plate. High fly ball, right center, it's in the park. Alex Rios will put it away. But the Yankees have come back. They've tied the score. 2 runs on 2 hits, none bigger than that one. Derek Jeter, a 2-run home run. His 4th of the year. We go to the 6th inning at 4-4. To see the 27-time world champion Yankees in action on Wednesday, May 19th, when the Yankees play the Rays. The first 18,000 fans 21 and older are going to receive a Yankees Dunkin' Donuts card with a $2 value. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Jason Nix takes a strike from Andy Pettit. Andy has labored today. It has not been picture perfect at all, but it's 4-4. Now, once they killed film, people just take too many pictures now.
Or you have the card.
Yeah.
You have about 250 pictures on there.
You just keep taking pictures.
It'll be 3 years later before you develop it.
And then if you don't, but you don't have to develop it. You just download it. And if you don't like it, just erase it and erase it. And it's disgusting. Give me back film. I still like those little cubes on the top, flash, and then it would go. You'd have 4 pictures, and then you'd have to get rid of it and get another one.
Oh, the cube, the flash cube.
Flash cubes. There's no
Boy,
flash
you're going
cubes
back to, what, the 50s?
I'm old. No, I wasn't alive in the 50s. The 1-1. Fly ball left field. Coming on is Gardner, and Nix is retired for the first out of the 6th.
Don't know how this game's going to work out, but for Andy Pettitte, you say that the struggle, and I get it. It's about runs and scoreless and winning the ball game, but this is a gratifying game. He gives up 3 in the first, a couple bloops, an 0-2 pitch to Konerko, and then the 1 in the second. This is one of those settle down games where you just keep plugging away. All of a sudden you look up and say, hey, look at that, 7 innings, settled in, your offense comes back, gets a couple runs for you, maybe you get a win out of it.
Now, I remember something that Roger Clemens once told me, and I want to know if you're buying this. He said that he would enjoy these wins more than the ones when he was absolutely dominant on the mound.
Well, I don't know about that. A 2-hit shutout's pretty cool. But to his point, this is gratifying because there's games where you just like, I don't have it. My back hurts. My stuff's not good. And 3rd and 4th inning, the manager takes you out. This is mental toughness. This is for Andy Pettitte. He's a great pitcher, great career, to continue to press on. And yes, that's the satisfying aspect of when the game's over and your team, scoreless here. Let's say you pitch a 7th, and the bottom of the 7th, your team gets a run or 2, and you win the game. You betcha, that is great. I'll still take the 2-hit shutout.
I heard they're pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
One.
You know why, too? Because games like this, Michael, the coaching staff appreciates it. Your teammates behind you appreciate it. And those guys in the pen appreciate it. Where there's guys that are known at where they crack. They crumble. And they can't stay long enough. Now you're dealing with 4 guys out of the pen on a given night where a guy crumbles. As opposed to you bang it out. You push through 7, and now you're mixing and matching with your 7th, 8th inning guy. It's a front-end performance.
The 2-2. Lucy fouls it away. So 90 pitches for Pettitte. He gets these 2 outs and a decent amount of pitches. All of a sudden, he can pitch the 7th.
Well, you look at the course management last inning. You said you wouldn't admit to pitching around Konerko. Why not? He's hot. You make him hit your pitch.
There's a ground ball to Jeter. Lucy's out.
Now he gets Quinton to fly out last inning. Martin a little ground ball. And now here you are, 2 outs in the 6th inning. And if you can hopefully convince your manager, hey, I can do another one. Let's see how this inning works out. Turns out to be a good ball game.
That's going to bring up Juan Pierre. And you can see that Cervelli said, hey, listen, this guy's going to bunt. So he wants the infielders ready. Alex Rodriguez in on the grass at 3rd.
Well, good bunt. He might not even be close enough. Pierre is a guy that really a student of the game, had an opportunity to play with him with the Marlins, and he'd come out, Michael, every day, 15, 20 minutes of bunting. Really good hard worker, good kid.
Now, the Dodgers got rid of him in the offseason, really a salary dump of a trade. And I was reading some stories today where they said that he's really missed with the Dodgers, not so much on the field, but what he does in the clubhouse. He's a real leader for that young team. And guys like Kemp and Ether don't have somebody to lead them. Manny's not going to be that guy. Pierre's been around, knows how to work, as you said, a hard worker, and that rubs off on kids in the clubhouse. And they miss him out there. The Dodgers really struggling. They're in last place in the West. There's a strike.
Boy, attack him here. Andy struggling so far early in the year. 111 against batting or left-handed pitching. Last year, what a year for the Dodgers. 308 on Pierre.
And he's working the count 3-2. You can see Pierre's almost wishing to get on.
Yep.
Ground ball is short. Jeter. And he gets the hustling Pierre for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So a nice bounce back by Andy Pettit. After 5.5, it's 4-4. Time now for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Heineken. Give yourself a good name. By Hager, established 1926. Your own great moment starts at Hager.com. And by Avis, the official rental car company of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We are all knotted at 4. And Alex Rodriguez will lead off. Drove in a run in the 1st inning. He's 1 for 2. Sky high pop-up. Konerko. And there's one away. 1 pitch, 1 out.
You know, that's what Alex is saying right down the middle, 87. Couldn't click it soon enough.
Well, it's time for another look at tonight's Toyota Text Ball. We will refresh your memory on the question, which of Cano's offensive stats has impressed you the most? You've been texting us at 58772. And here's how you voted. You're impressed by his batting average.
Wow. Dude, he almost had a batting title a couple years ago.
He never won a batting title.
No, but he was close. He said he was 343. He was 2nd or 3rd behind Mauer. I would have figured that on base percentage.
You should have voted.
I would have.
Cano with an RBI single in the 1st, then worked count to 3-2 and grounded to 2nd in the 4th. Randy Williams up in the bullpen. .89 pitches for Freddie Garcia. The 2-1.
Nasty slider right there.
And Alfredo Aceves up for the 2nd time. There's bullpen coach Mike Harkey. Doing some groundskeeping. And he tops that one to first. Konerko will flip to Garcia, and there are 2 outs. So 2 down, and that's going to bring up Nick Swisher. Joe Girardi's team 5-4. on their just completed road trip. And of their series, they've only lost one, and that was the one in Anaheim. They lost 2 games out of 3 to the Angels. They've won every other series, and they're 14-7. And the only thing keeping them out of first place in the American League East is the torrid start of the Tampa Bay Rays. Count 1-0. Kansas City and Tampa Bay tied at 1. I believe that's in the 6th. Check that. That's the 8th. My eyesight's gone. There's a strike.
Talk about on all cylinders. 1-1 in the 8th, as you say. 773 clip right now. Best in baseball, Tampa.
Fly ball, deep center, backing up Rios. And in left center, he'll make the play right along the warning track for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. He did it on 10 pitches. Let's go to the 7th. Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T, a better 3G experience. Surprising because Andy Pettitte was under 100 pitches, had worked a 1-2-3-6, but they decided to go to Alfredo Aceves.
Well, yeah, you say about the 98 pitches. His last outing against the Angels, 114, Andy, that is. 107 before that. Maybe it's just a matter of how he labored early on, and you want him for the long haul. Maybe could have gotten another inning. The worst thing you want to do in a situation when it is in that close number, to where if he may have had a preconceived number, maybe 110, 115 max, you don't want to get him in a situation where runners on base, and now you have to deal with a reliever coming in with some inherited potential runners.
Verizon Wireless scoreboard, it's 4-4. And Aceves deals a strike to Alexei Ramirez. The 0-1. Count 0-2.
Aceves coming in this, his 6th appearance. Gave up 1 earned run on Tuesday in Baltimore. 2 innings, 2 hits. 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Good versatile guy for Joe Girardi and the Yankees. Use him in any role.
Nubbed Off the mound quickly is Aceves, and there's one away. Hey, if you ever missed a live Yankees game, now you can catch all Yes Network Yankees game encores on Fios Video on Demand in their free sports section. Here's the second baseman, Gordon Beckham, who is 2 for 2 with a sac fly. We're in the top of the 7th inning here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on the Yes Network. Thanks for starting your weekend with us. It's a 4-4 game. Kimberly Jones will work the clubhouse after the game on the post-game show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. So the whole gang's here. Count 2-2.
You know, Ozzie Guillen's always good for quotes and pre and post game, and then talking about Gordon Beckham. They've had struggle at leadoff, and everybody was in Chicago saying that Gordon Beckham should be that leadoff hitter, and he just doesn't see him as a guy that would be in the one hole.
Granderson puts it away for the second out.
Number 1 draft pick out of University of Georgia a couple years ago, Gordon Beckham. They tried him at third base last year, and now moving him to second. Put a little extra pressure on a young kid who's trying to figure a new position and also struggling offensively.
Here's Alex Rios. Good to see now that Ozzie has the okay from Major League Baseball to wear the hoodie. Joe Madden was told he couldn't wear the hoodie, then they changed the rule. So you see now Ozzie has the hoodie on. And Madden, to celebrate the legality of the hoodie, got a hoodie from Mr. Hoodie himself, Bill Belichick, who sent him one with the initials JM on it, like Bill Belichick says BB. A lot of hoodie stuff.
How do you feel about that?
What's the difference? I mean, Connie Mack used to dress in a suit.
So now we have hoodies. Right.
Right.
So we went from suits to little sweatshirts.
Well, I always wondered why managers had to wear a uniform. They're not going to play. Does Phil Jackson wear Lakers shorts and the tank top?
You know, and I think of old school. Billy Martin used to have cleats. And, you know, now, I mean, to your point, there's Matt Thornton. He looks like he's ready. And, you know, now they just wear sneakers. But I always wondered what Billy was doing in the cleats.
Base hit as Rios with a 2-out single keeps the inning alive.
Well, they've been one of their best hitters along with Konerko. The numbers haven't been there, but he's been hitting the ball hard. Alex Rios waiting for him to help solidify this offense. Always loved his tools.
That was one of the shocking maneuvers from last year. He'd been signed to that big money contract by J.P. Ricciardi and put him on waivers. And I don't know if Kenny Williams, the GM of the White Sox, thought that he would claim him and be able to work out a deal, but he claimed him, and J.P. Ricciardi was just so thrilled to get that onerous contract off his books. He let a talent like Rios go for nothing.
Well, it just shows you where the state of the Blue Jays were at that time, and about $50-some million that they had to assume.
They were trying to do the same thing with Vernon Wells, and now they're probably happy that he wasn't claimed because he's off to a great start. The power is returned. Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. Jeter backing up. Rios will stay right there. So a stolen base for Rios as he gets into scoring position.
Well, let's see if he takes it off. Now, Sevis has got the big leg kick. Rios is a good for about 20 stolen bases. Not a great throw. It was hooked up the line, the shortstop line. It was good pitch to throw on. See Robbie reaching back. Oh, that had been a better throw, he would have been out.
So now, Konerko, by stealing second there, you've lost Konerko's bat. So you have to think, well, was that a good idea? You take the bat out of the home run leader in the major leagues away, and you're going to deal now with Carlos Quentin. So was that the right time to steal second? Now he'll argue, well, I got in the scoring position, so I'm in scoring position for Quentin.
Cat and mouse. I would say that it wasn't a smart move. We'll see how it all plays out with Quentin, who has been struggling. See Dave Island going out. Discuss how to pitch the scouting report to Carlos Quentin.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Damaso Marte getting ready. So 2 quick outs for Aceves, and then a single by Rios, a stolen base, and an intentional walk to Konerko. And now Carlos Quentin, who is 1 for 3. Scalding double to left center in the first, 2 fly balls to right field, 1 in the third, 1 in the fifth, follows the double. Breaking ball was fouled back.
Got a good cut at that. First pitch slider right down the middle. And a guy who's not batting $189, he's going to hit this somewhere. That ball's right down the middle. You see Cervelli shaking his head. James Aceves, come on, make a good pitch here.
Did he hold up? No, he did not, said Jerry Meals, the home plate ump.
That's a nasty split changeup. No, he went. Throw it again.
Line drive right at Alex Rodriguez. So Quentin couldn't hit it harder, but Alex Rodriguez had him played perfectly, 1 step to the right and right into the glove for the final out. In the 7th, no runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium, but we'll stay right here on Yes as they honor America in the Bronx.
At home and around the globe. Now please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Fios TV, Internet and Phone. This is Beyond Cable. This is Fios. John Danks. It's a good pitching matchup. John Danks 3-0, 1.55. Javi Vasquez trying to right his start out, 1-3 with a 9.0 ERA. Our coverage will begin at noon with batting practice today, and 12:30 is our pregame, and first pitch will be right around 1:07. And it's supposed to be a gorgeous day in New York City tomorrow, the middle game of this three-game set. Danks against Vasquez, pitching against his former team. Well, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and there's a new pitcher out there for the White Sox. It's Matt Thornton. Hard-throwing left-hander. Those are his numbers, good numbers. And a strike to Curtis Granderson. 17 strikeouts.
There's not too many left-handed relievers in baseball that have as good a stuff as Matt Thornton.
Let's put a bow on Freddie Garcia. What'd you think?
You know, I was impressed that he was able to stay with his off-speed and just baffle the Yankee hitters. I think it was really, that was the difference of him. I had him about almost 60% of his pitches being either the split or a slider and the big curveball.
And his big mistake was a 2-run home run to Jeter. And on the Verizon wireless scoreboard, that's why we're at 4-4 right now, bottom of the 7th.
Going to get a lot of fastballs from Matt Thornton.
Like that. Granderson down on strikes. Granderson now 3 for his last 34.
Unlike the rotation for the White Sox, who struggled up to this point, their bullpen has been one of their strengths, especially on the road. The Chicago White Sox bullpen, an ERA under 1 in 29 innings now, and at home they're almost to 5.
Seven pitchers in the White Sox bullpen, 5 righties and 2 lefties. The other lefty is Randy Williams. The righties, J.J. Putz, Sergio Santos, Tony Pena, Scott Linebrink, and the closer, Bobby Jenks. And Cervelli gets plunked.
Well, I know the fans are booing, but you get 0-2 count. He absolutely did not want to do this. Fastball, strike, slider, and then just blocked him there in the left tricep. That's got to hurt. 95 or better. Oof. Yeah, I think he's the only one that wears the new enforced helmet for the Yankees.
Because he got hit during spring training. He had a couple of concussions. So he's taking every precaution. And it's not enforced in the big leagues. It's enforced down in the minors now.
Well, I think it's just a matter of time. That helmet takes better absorption of the shock of a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Now, the White Sox have been struggling. We've detailed it throughout the game. They come in at 9-13, but their bullpen has not struggled. 3rd best ERA in the American League at 2.98. So they've got some arms out there. And Kenny Williams, who's GM, he likes to get hard throwers out in his bullpen.
And I think Matt Thornton, he has closer stuff. Bobby Jenks is the closer. This has been a great setup, left-handed setup to the Bobby Jenks right-hander closer. Really a neat story is that Sergio Santos, he was an infielder with the Twins, and they transformed him to a pitcher. Talk about power arms. Kenny Williams, the White Sox pen is first in the American League strikeouts with 82 strikeouts. That's dominating arms.
Now that helmet that Cervelli is wearing now, it's actually called the S100, and it's able to withstand 100-mile-per-hour fastballs.
You know, when I said that, Michael, to think that there was a time in this game where guys didn't wear helmets. It wasn't long ago. Was it 60s?
No, probably in the 50s, early 50s. I think Phil Rizzuto was the first one to wear a helmet.
And then they had like the crush.
And it was actually a liner inside a hat.
In an era when it was known that guys would knock guys down.
Two. Count 3-2. So this is a good battle for Gardner against a very tough lefty.
Wow, with a plus fastball guy, Gardner's got to think something away to where he could just serve it out to left field. When you have a plus 95, 96 fastball guy, you know he's going to get a heater here.
Hot shot up the middle, a base hit for Gardner. That's an impressive at bat for Brett Gardner, who is 2 for 3.
You betcha, Michael. He stays on it. Nice line drive. Thornton supplying the power there. Just stays up the middle. Good level swing. Right past Ramirez. Not easy to do. 95, 96 up enough to where it could get by Thornton and hard enough to get by Ramirez.
So here's Jeter, who got the big hit in the 5th inning for the Yankees, a 2-run home run. And Jeter's approach against Thornton is going to be, let me take it the other way. Now, an interesting choice by Girardi, which obviously paid off. Marcus Timms has just been red hot. I mean, absolutely red hot. 3 more hits yesterday. And he could have sent Timms up the pinch hit for Gardner, because Timms had a home run and 4 career at-bats against the lefty, but he stuck with Gardner and it worked.
Where Derek is so dangerous, he's going to pick a spot. 2-0, preferably a fastball out over the plate. His area in which he likes to drive that ball to right center field.
Takes it that way, deep to right, fair ball, it's trouble, foul ball. That kind of line drive off the bat of a right-hander is going to keep slicing. That's what it did. Jeter's doing the reverse Carlton Fisk.
Lucy going out to Matt Thornton. Just missed his spot. We'll see if Derek has the same approach, see whether Thornton goes to a breaking ball inside. Derek would probably be having the same approach with something that he could drive to right field. Again, Thornton with the 95 plus. Good approach to go the other way.
2-1. In on the hands.
See, now that's what negates it, Michael, where you know the swing. The scout reports everywhere. Got looking at video, and you got spray charts and everything. The ball away would be something for Derek to really just do his job and poke it to right center. You even see where the outfield alignment. Clearly, they're anticipating something to go that way. He's trying to come inside and negate that.
Driven the other way, giving chase is Nix. He dives. He can't make the play. It'll go to the wall. Cervelli scores. Here comes Gardner. He will score. It's going to be a triple for Jeter. 2 more ribbies, and the Yankees lead 6-4. Let's take a look at how that at-bat broke down. Pitch by pitch, brought to you by Suzuki Kazashi.
What an at-bat. Derek Jeter, I'll tell you, they're coming right at him. He takes the pitch. He's looking in. Thornton missing in. These are 95, 96. Now, this approach, you hope that he kept it fair. Fighting that ball off inside, and that ball was left out over the plate. Thornton wasn't able to keep it inside. I thought this was a good effort, great effort by Nix. And middle infielder by trade. He's only been in the outfield a couple of times before tonight. Good effort. Derek seeing where he was able to not handle it, aggressively going into third base. Big hit.
And the crowd is buzzing as Jorge Posada comes off the bench to pinch hit for Nick Johnson. And Ozzie Guillen will go to the bullpen. So Ozzie, who has been depending on his bullpen, gets burned with Thornton. So he's going to call on a right-hander to spin Posada around to the shorter side of the field. Yankees lead 6-4. And Derek Jeter really hurts him with that triple. Let's take a look at this with the IOTV HD Super Shot, Al.
Great approach, great at bat, just staying on the ball long enough. Nick's making a great effort just out of his outstretched glove. You see the runners here. Once they realize he dropped the ball, now it's everybody running. We got Brett Gardner. How about the speed, his gait? No question about that. Derek Jeter getting a third. Big moment.
Derek is now a double away from the cycle. Single, triple, and a home run. So he's got the tough ones. Well, single, I would think, is not as tough as the double. Here's Sergio Santos. 10 strikeouts in 8 innings. Al told you about a converted position player. And here he is throwing BBs. Now, I'm wondering why Guillen would turn Posada around to the shortest side of the field. Posada was 2 for 7 against Thornton. He doesn't have any numbers against Santos. So Posada, who has not started the past 2 games with the sore right knee, they're calling it a contusion. Pinch hits for Nick Johnson. The infield is in for the White Sox. Yankees lead 6-4. Jeter's at third. 1-0. Count 1-1. Count 1-2. Jeter with 4 of the Yankees' 6 RBIs. Foul back. Last year, Posada 4 for 11 as a pinch hitter. He's 0 for 1 right now as he goes down on strikes against Santos.
Just in the hole right away against Sergio Santos. Nasty slider, 2 sliders in a row. Said about Santos's fastball in the mid-90s. Threw him a split changeup and then 2 sliders in a row. And, you know, when you posed the question, I was trying to think of a reason why you would want a guy, especially at Yankee Stadium, to hit left-handed, but I would think just the way Thornton kind of reeled there, he just liked the matchup of Santos.
And Teixeira takes a strike. That's the first time, by the way, Jeter has driven in 4 runs in a game since September 10th of 2006, and that was against the Orioles. I told you that Jeter is a double away from the cycle. Well, if you like to tie things together, have everything come full circle, the last Yankee to hit for a cycle was Melky Cabrera against the White Sox. That was at U.S. Cellular Field.
Last year. Big game.
And the last one he got was a triple. The 0-2. 1-2. So the Yankees trailed in this game 3-0 before they had even come to the plate. Then they trailed 4-2. Jeter tied it up with a 2-run home run in the 5th, and that was to left field. And then a 2-run triple to right field here in the 7th has put the Yankees up 6-4. Oh, that was a twitch by Jerry Meals. Looks like he wanted to punch him out.
Good call. A little backdoor slider. Watch Jerry Meals flinching. Ooh.
The 2-2.
I think of Guillermo Mota, who was with the Dodgers a little bit with the Mets, and you know he was also a converted infielder. But to think 2 years ago, this pitcher on the mound for the White Sox was an infielder in AAA, Rochester for the Twins, was playing around in Scranton against the Yankees, and said he could throw 95, and he did during batting practice. And here he is at Yankee Stadium pitching with good stuff. Not a clueless guy. Good fastball, changeup, slider. Not easy to do, folks.
Payoff pitch. Rip foul.
Normally the opposite. You look at Rick Ankiel, who went from pitching to hitting. I think that's much more rare than an everyday player who end up pitching.
Babe Ruth did it.
Babe Ruth.
3-2. And Teixeira works a walk, and that's going to bring in Alex and Rodriguez.
Good at bat.
Alex is 1 home run away from tying Frank Robinson on the all-time home run list. Has not had a power-laden April at all, but it's the better April than the one he had last year when he didn't play, had hip surgery, missed the first 28 games of the year. breaking ball strike. Looking to tie Frank Robbie right there in the count 0-2.
You know, I'm looking at that first pitch. He took a slider down the middle, and hitters sit on pitches all the time. You can say whether they sit on the pitch or they guess. And he got his fastball, as he should be. I would think you're looking at a guy throwing 95 miles an hour. Here it is, just high enough and fast enough. Got him on it.
That one gets away from Lucy as Teixeira advances to second.
See this ball, Lucy trying to keep it in front of him, just kicked away. The slider, the spin is going from right to left, and then when it kicks up, it actually spins in reverse.
Two. Just missed that one. Just a high fly ball to right field. Nix will put it away with a final out. But the Yankees take the lead. 2 runs on 2 hits. None bigger than this one. Derek Jeter battles Matt Thornton past the diving Nix. 2-run score. Jeter with a triple. Yankees with a 6-4 lead. Yankee season on yes. We're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Derek Jeter, number 2, Paul Konerko, number 3, Robinson Cano, number 4, Brett Gardner. I wonder who it's going to be. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. New pitcher for the Yankees is Damaso Marte. Four and a third innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. His ERA is what it is because he served up that home run to Kendry Morales Sunday in Anaheim. There's a strike.
That was his last appearance, 5 days. Anytime a reliever, you want to see them get out of every 2-3 days. They'll get some side work, but 5 days is a considerable rest for a reliever, command-wise.
You know what, Al? It's become that sort of thing where the starters have been so effective. Mariano pitched last night on the 29th, and he had not pitched previously since the 21st. So these guys are getting more rest because the starters are giving them length. Right now, Aceves is poised to pick up the victory. Got 10 wins last year out of the bullpen. Looking for a second one. this year.
That's the hardest thing for a reliever, to get the work down the pen, to figure out, okay, if I'm not going to get in there, I got to get hot and simulate an inning. And sometimes it's 4, 5, 6 innings, 4, 5, 6 days. We're not talking about a long man. We're talking about integral part of a bullpen leading up to your closer.
There's a strike.
Because he's a reliever, major league reliever. They're trained to be able to throw every day. And you'll talk to a guy that's pitched a long time and said, just get, one day off. There's Jabba getting ready. A day off, if they have a considerable pitch count, maybe you give them 2 days. But they want to get out there.
Ground ball a second. Cano is right there. There's one away. This Sunday, don't miss an all-new WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show. Joe breaks down the team's performance so far and looks ahead to the upcoming series against the Orioles and Red Sox. It's all new this Sunday at 5, only on Yes. We'll talk about this move right now. So he had in Marte just to get the left-hander, and now he's going to bring in Jabba to face Jason Nix, but he might see a pinch hitter as there are 2 lefties on the bench. Jabba comes in, you come back. In our music and computer world, and by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Crowd here at the stadium, 44,783, watching Jabba Chamberlain come in. This will be his 11th game, 10 strikeouts and 9 2/3, but obviously too many hits. He does not want to give up a hit per inning.
Yeah, keeping the walks down, Michael. That three per 9, and getting in the groove of. It's not easy, the back and forth, and now getting settled in. His velocity's been rising. Total different mindset from starting to relieving. Know that you're emptying the tank every appearance, every outing as a reliever.
Mark Kotze pinch hits for Jason Nix, and he takes a strike. White Sox carry 4 on the bench. Tonight, 2 lefties, a right-handed hitter, Andrew Jones, and Omar Vizquel, a switch hitter, 43-year-old shortstop.
Seeing a lot more 95-mile-an-hour fastballs from Jabba. His average fastball this year, 93 miles an hour.
Grounded up the middle, Jeter. 2 outs.
Nice play, Derek. Normally, if going this far, he'd do a little pirouette. He kept staying inside. Kotze a few years ago a little quicker, but Bang, bang play. Got him by a step. Watch here. Over the pitcher's mound. He was able to get in front of it. Good lateral movement to his left. Keep his body in front. A little side flick throw. Nice play.
Derek's had some night. And A.J. Przinsky is going to pinch in for Donnie Lucy. And a strike.
Only 3 at-bats lifetime. 0 for 3. A.J. against Jabba.
And Jabba gets 2 easy ground balls to get out of the inning. 3 ground balls. White Sox go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankee up by 2. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Some changes for the White Sox. We'll give them to you as we move along. Tony Pena is the new White Sox pitcher. 4th pitcher used by Ozzie Guillen. Those are the numbers. 9 strikeouts and 9 2/3, but too many walks.
Mentioned about the power arms out of this pen. Those 7 walks in less than 10 innings. That's been his trouble.
He'll be pitching to A.J. Przinsky, and Mark Kotsay takes over on right. Fouled away. Warming up for the Yankees is Mariano Rivera. There's Kotsay. And the veteran A.J. Przinsky. And the veteran Mariano Rivera. Cano, Swisher, and Granderson against Tony Pena. Driven out into left center, giving chase Alex Rios on the run. Oh, what a play by Rios. Took an extra base hit away from Cano.
Rios does a nice job out in center field. This ball kept drifting away, had it tracked, but realizing this ball was further, ended up having to do a nice stretch to reach out to get that ball. Rios Gold Glove caliber. Ooh, it looked like he pulled his eyes, closed his eyes at the end there. Nice play. Defense improved, certainly covering ground with Pierre and left and Rios in center for the White Sox.
Swisher fouls it off. Swisher is 0 for 3. Nick, over the last couple of years, who seems built for New York, strangely just has much better numbers on the road than he does here in the Bronx. He was red hot on this road trip, and he started off 0 for 3 tonight. That one's driven out to deep left. Pierre back, still back, track in front of the scoreboard, puts it away for the second out.
Staying back on that little changeup. Pierre drifting, has it tracked. Does he have enough room? Yes.
Well, after the final out, join Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Kimberly Jones for the WB Mason postgame. You're going to get all the highlights and analysis of this first game against the White Sox, plus the team's reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up later on the WB Mason postgame, only on Yes. Granderson is 0 for 3 and 3 for his last 32. Although he's hit the ball hard twice tonight. Once a line drive to Konerko, another time he drove Nix to the wall in right field.
Ooh. Granderson waiting there. Looked like he thought it was a strike.
Ozzie has a somewhat perplexed look on his face.
Well, from that view, he was getting a reaction of what Granderson was showing. Obviously, you have your own hitter look at the ball and think that it was a strike. Or the opposing hitter.
Let's see if Granderson, who has not been on the bases much, tries to steal.
Brzezinski behind the plate, 11 for 16 stolen bases, caught stealing, 31%. Pretty good ratio. League average around 25%.
Count 1-0. Joey Cora, the bench coach, going through the signs. Many in baseball think that Cora, a future manager, smart player, got the most out of his abilities. Yankee fans remember him with Seattle. His brother, one of the backup shortstops with the Mets, Alex.
Catchers and middle infielders end up being utility infielders. They get a different perspective, having watched a lot of games from the bench, usually close to a manager or bench coach themselves while playing. Have a good perspective of the overall game. Pena, you think right-hander usually better against right-handed batters. Pena is 4 for 21, and left-handers, they were 0 for 10, 0 for 12 with the two lefties before Granderson.
Popped up. Beckham makes the call on the catch, and we're going to go to the ninth inning. And Joe Girardi's going to go to that man, Mariano Rivera, to try to close it out. Makes his way in from the bullpen, and this is the difference between the Yankees and other teams. Even the President of the United States, when the Yankees were in the White House on Monday, said as much.
This is a team that goes down to spring training every year expecting to win it all. And more often than not, you guys get pretty close. Of course, if I had Rivera, I'd get pretty close too. My White Sox would get close every year.
He's probably right.
Not only his White Sox, every team in baseball.
So Mariano was humbled by those words from President Barack Obama, who also commented, "Hey, I like how you look in those Canali suits. I got to get me some." Now, of all the things he has to worry about, the president, how does he know that Mariano is a spokesman for that suit company?
Is he?
Yeah. I guess you didn't know, and you're not even the president. Mariano Rivera, no ERA, 6 saves in 9 games. And he has recorded 50 straight saves at home. And Juan Pierre will start it off. There's a strike. And another strike. Pierre is 0 for 2 with a walk today. He's 1 for his last 15.
Shallow. They're anticipating some little blooper over here. Left field, right, left center. With that Mariano cutter and a guy who's struggling coming in on his hands, anticipating something to go in the left field. Gardner covering the line, and Granderson playing very shallow.
The 2-2. And the count 3-2. On deck, Alexi Ramirez. Three-two. Punched out to Alex Rodriguez, 1 away.
Just flicks it. Thought it looked like a lot harder than it was. That was a little changeup to Alex Rodriguez.
Don't forget tomorrow afternoon, Yankees against the White Sox again right here in the Bronx. The coverage starts at noon with batting practice today, presented by Audi and the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Al and I have the call. White Sox Yankees tomorrow at noon, only on Yes. Danks against Vasquez. Ramirez takes pitch low, 1-0. Ramirez is 1 for 4 today. Yankees trying to win their 3rd game in a row. Mariano looks short. The 2-0. Blew him right by him. Good life on his fastball today. He hasn't been at 93 for most of the year. Usually 90, 91. Mariano pitched yesterday in Baltimore, but it was a 4-0 game. He did not get a save, but he needed to work. Count 2-2.
That's the fine line you were mentioning about. As good as the starters have been with your closer, you got to find your spot to be able to get the work without having too much time between each appearance. And as you say, you got the work in, but here he is in the closing situation the next night.
Yankees have not played many close games. They've had just one one-run game all year. And that was against Baltimore on Tuesday. No, Monday, the game they lost. No, Tuesday. They were in the White House on Monday.
Well, with Ramirez, this would be his 78th plate appearance this year. He only has one walk. Took the 2 pitches. Mariano challenged him. He's swinging from the on-deck circle.
Swing and a miss. 2 away. Ramirez down on strikes.
Well, that strikeout right there ties him with Roger Clemens for 10th place on the Yankee all-time strikeout list. This is a little two-seamer here, running the ball inside. That's a pitch that he's developed over the last few years. Cutter, 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 and then that sinker running down and in.
Here's Gordon Beckham. That's where Mariano is on the all-time list, tied with the Rocket. Next up is Al Downing, then Bob Shalke, and Mel Stoudemire, most former pitching coach. Count 2-0. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays, who have gotten off to a great start, they've already lost tonight. They lost to Kansas City 3-2. Red Sox and the Orioles are tied at 4 in the top of the 9th at Camden Yards. The 2-0. 2-1. Yankees trying to have a 15-win month of April. They are 14-7. And 15-7 would not be too bad when you consider how much time they've spent on the road. The 2-1. 2-2. Rivera throwing gas. Great command, pinpoint control. And a crowd of 44,783 climbing to their feet. Three and 2.
Tried to throw that same pitch Ramirez ended up swinging at. Beckham can't pull it. Oh, Cervelli wanted it.
Jeter thought it was strike 3. This is an important batter. Alex Rios with power is on deck. Yankees up 6-4. The payoff stays alive.
Yeah, you definitely want Beckham to earn his way on here. Certainly not wanting to put the tying run. And Rios in his career has had good numbers against the Yankees in the past.
The 3-2. He struck him out. The Yankees win the game 6-4. So Mariano Rivera works a 1-2-3 ninth inning, striking out 2. And the Yankees come from behind to win this one 6-4 over the White Sox. And there's strike 3. The cutter moving away from the swing of Gordon Beckham. And the captain so responsible for this game. The ceremonial fist pump. A home run, a triple, 4 runs batted in for Jeter. And Mariano nails down the save. Now, including the postseason, the Yankees are now 44-10 at home since the All-Star break last year. Tonight, 6-7-0, beating 4-8-0. Andy Pettitte struggled early, settled down, and Alfredo Aceves gets the win. Rivera the save, and Derek Jeter gets the interview with Kimberly Jones in front of the Yankee dugout. Kim?
He does indeed, Michael. The game-tying, end-game winning hit. Let's start with that triple, Derek. What's the key to winning that battle against a hard thrower like Thornton?
You really don't have much time to think with him. I thought I blew it when the one went foul, but you just try to get a good pitch on him. He's tough, you know, his especially on righties because he throws so hard. But, you know, I found a good spot.
Do you take anything from Gardner's at bat just before yours? Pretty impressive at bat, and he got on.
Great at bat. I mean, I could only imagine Thornton's probably even more difficult on lefties. And, you know, Gardy had a tough at bat, and he was able to get on base.
Conversely, Freddie Garcia's throwing a lot of off-speed stuff. Are you looking off-speed on that home run?
No, I wish I was that good, but I'm not. You know, I'm just looking for a good pitch to hit. I haven't been swinging at a lot of strikes lately, so I tried to bear down. I got a good pitch that was up.
I'm not used to you pulling that ball.
Every once in a while.
To show you can do it.
Well, it's on accident.
I just want to ask you before we leave. You've been away so much this month. You end April with 15 wins. How do you feel about where you guys are right now?
We've been playing pretty well. You know, like you said, it seems like we've been on the road almost the entire year. But if you're going to be a great team, you're going to have to win some games on the road. And I'm happy with the way we've been playing.
Thank you, Derek. Michael?
And thank you, Kimberly. So Derek Jeter and Kim Jones on the field as the Yankees celebrate a 6-4 victory. How'd they do it? Here's the final out. 3-2 count on Gordon Beckham. Swing and a miss, and Mariano nails another one down. How many times have we seen this? The crowd rejoices, the high fives for the Yankees, and we come back with the awards next.